on fire.
Hi, happy STEM Monday and welcome to our fourth video with Dr. Kelley Lee. In today's video, we asked Dr. Lee why students should pursue STEM. Stay tuned for our final video, part 5, in our discussion with Dr. Kelley Lee.
I think that students should pursue STEM for several reasons. I'm biased because I I have taught science. Science is a field that I'm very passionate about. I shared a little bit about my mom and her story and how she's encouraged and supported me in my own learning journey. So I understand that my perspective is not commonly shared, but personally for me, and I'm just speaking to students that were in my shoes and students that I taught in the past, and I did teach again at a variety of schools. Science for me and education for me was really the only way to break out of the cycle of poverty. It opened up a lot of opportunity and a lot of doors to me. And I know for my students, for many of them, they still feel that the science field is not within reach. And I remember when I was doing my dissertation research in that first year, I did a micro study on underrepresented minorities in STEM fields and what students feel they needed to succeed in STEM fields. And in interviewing random students for this study, it really broke my heart that a lot of them shared with me that they felt that they love science, that they would want to pursue science, but that they were either so far behind in math or so far behind in their current science class, or didn't feel like they had the tools and resources to actually succeed in these fields, that they felt like it wasn't even worth opening the door to. And when you're sitting there and you're interviewing somebody, you're trying to be as unbiased as possible, but I just wanted to help students to understand that, with science, I feel like there's so much opportunity to what we can do to help our community using, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's not just one field, it's intersectional. And if we keep thinking, how do we improve our lived realities? How do we improve our own communities? I feel that science, engineering, all of these fields, they're tools. They're tools that we can use in a way of thinking that we can use to actually make very real change. And so for me, I do think that students should pursue it because in this case, when we talk about climate change, we're raising the next generation to be climate warriors. They have to be, just because, if we look at the worst projections, right, there's a lot that they have to be able to combat, I think, in the future for just even access to clean air, clean water, clean food, clean land. And then when we think about, how they can use science and their understanding of science, engineering, math, technology, all of it, they can use it as a tool to combat these things, to make their lived realities even better. And it would only be meaningful if it's coming from students and our community members directly, because a saying that I remember hearing often is that a solution is only a solution so long as people use it. And if it's absent of culture, if it's absent of what's needed or the time, then it's all but theoretical. So I can come into a random community and say what I think is needed there, but if it's not coming from the community itself, because they live there, they experience the issues in that community, and they would know best also what the solutions are to the very real problems that they face. It means very little for me, but it means so much to help them navigate the system to be able to make tangible change. So I think that when we arm students with information and skills through STEM, I think that that is the best way that we can actually make real change with students, not for them, but with them. And again, for students such as myself, I didn't share it earlier, but in my own Title I school, the statistic for my graduating class is 8%. So 8% of my entire graduating class that started of 1,000 students went to a 4-year university and graduated from that university. 8%. And I'm one of the 8%. And even less of the 8% that went off to receive a doctorate degree, 1% actually went and did that. So I'm one of 2 people from my high school in Los Angeles that has made it this far. And when I think of opportunity and when I think of ways to make change and to support students in believing in the educational system again, I think STEM has the power to do that, because it's not just information, it's what you can do with it. And I think that that's how we can reimagine even science, to think about whether or not it's addressing 21st century problems and issues of today and tomorrow. Not memorizing the periodic table for the sake of memorizing the periodic table. It's really thinking about, am I teaching you what you need to know to solve the problems of today and tomorrow? And who do I need to tap into to do that well if I don't already have the skills to do that? Whether it's industry partners, your researchers at the local universities, nonprofit agencies where we have a lot of naturalists that do work in the field. What is it that we need to have more movement on this? Because I think when you talk to teachers and you pose the question in that way, it makes a lot of sense to them. They really start thinking, why am I teaching this? Am I teaching this because this is how I learned it? Am I teaching this because this is the right way to learn it? Am I teaching this because this is all I've been exposed to? And does it have to continue being that way? Right? As an agent of change in the educational system made of people, what will I do to move forward to support students in becoming 21st century skilled and knowledgeable, capable doers of science and engineering? So I think that students should absolutely pursue STEM, but they need a lot of support in being able to do so. And it's, again, for me, it was life-changing. And I know that for a lot of students, it would also be the same if they could just see the potential of what these opportunities hold for them. But again, they need a lot of support, because it's performative to say to a student, pursue science and it'll change your life. Well, how do I do that? What does that even mean? What are the areas of science that I should pursue? How do I even get there? What if I don't have the right math skills? What if the point is, we have to move beyond just saying to students, you should do it because these are better opportunities for you. What does that even mean? If you're a first generation college student like myself, what does that really mean? How do I even get through college? Do I even know that there are different fields within engineering? What do they do? Do I know that there are different fields within science? Again, how do I even find this information? Who can I talk to? Is there an industry person that's willing to mentor me? Is there a teacher that's willing to model what that looks like to help me navigate? Are there other individuals in my shoes that I can reach out to that have succeeded through higher education, despite all odds, right? Given how far back in the starting line that they're starting from, what advice will they share with me? So I say all that to say, it's a simple question, but a very complex one as well. And yeah,